Good morning, students. Today we are going to discuss another important poet of Romantic age, and that is S.T. Coleridge. His full name is Samuel Taylor Coleridge. Coleridge is a major Romantic poet. As I told you that Romanticism began in reaction against Augustan age. The poetry of our Augustan age was urban poetry. It was urban literature, and the poets used a very polished, highly polished language. And the subject matter is also concerned the upper class of the society. So, and they have focused upon human nature, the description of human nature, and that poetry is totally of intellectual poetry. In reaction to that movement, Romanticism began a new kind of poetry. They gave a new philosophy. They described beautiful landscapes, and they are called nature worship, nature poetry. What does here also the word nature is used, but that is the landscape, the beauty of nature is described. And more importantly, they have used simple language. You can say the ordinary language, and they have also chosen subjects which belong to the common class, which belong to the ordinary people. In other words, we can say that they were very close to the people, and particularly to the lower class people and to the ordinary people. But they wrote poetry, nature poetry, they wrote in such a great way, in such a beautiful way that it became universal. Now, this is Romanticism. Now, Coleridge also belonged to this age and is a major Romantic poet. He was also a poet, a critic, and a philosopher. He was gifted with a highly imaginative powers. Among all Romantics, Keats was more highly imaginative. He was deeply interested in politics like other Romantic poets. And he was also influenced by the French Revolution. Although that all Romantics were greatly influenced, but Coleridge had a great influence of French Revolution. He has a friendship with Robert Southey and the great Romantic poet William Wordsworth. Coleridge and Wordsworth, they were very close friends. They brought out a book of poetry, and the name of that book was Lyrical Ballads. It was published in 1798. So that was a great landmark in Romantic movement. The publication marked the beginning of a new era in poetry. New era means a new period, new subjects in poetry. As I told you that it started, it gave momentum to Romanticism, and what new things they have introduced in poetry or in writing. I have told you that they have focused upon ordinary people, and they have also chosen a language which was used by ordinary people. So, Wordsworth and Coleridge decided to write poetry about natural subjects and in ordinary language. Coleridge set himself the task of creating a willing suspension of disbelief. As I told you that the Coleridge was more imaginative, highly imaginative among Romantics. Wordsworth chose the subjects of natural beauty, of ordinary people, but Coleridge set himself to create a willing suspension of disbelief. What does it mean? That he created such kind of atmosphere in his poetry, in his poems, that everyone would wonder about it, but ultimately they listen to it because it is so amusing and so exhausting and so enchanting. In this way, Coleridge wrote about supernatural powers. He also used supernatural powers, and there is a mixing of fact and fiction, and reality and imagination. So he created, he weaved, he mixed things in such a great way, in such a highly imaginative way that they look in wonder and follow his poetry. The poem, the Christabel, which is prescribed in your course, is a Christabel. Christabel is a ballad. And what is a ballad? Ballad, it is a kind of song which is transmitted orally. Ballad means that it is not a written literature, but people tell orally to other people, and it continues, it circulates in this way, and sometimes and the theme, the words also changes as it goes mouth to mouth. So it is a song which is transmitted, which is sung orally. So Christabel is a ballad, but Christabel is a unfinished poem. It is not a complete poem. It is the Christabel consists of 677 lines of the poem. Its first part consists of 337 lines, which was written in 1797. The second part, which consists of 346 lines, was written in 1800, after the poet returned from Germany. There was a decline in his poetic powers, and he could not complete the poem. So there was a gap of 1 year, more than 1 year. It was the first part was written in 1797, and the second part was written in 1800. There was a gap of 3 years, 3 years, and in that period, his health also declined, and he could not complete this poem. It was intended to be in the second volume of the lyrical ballads. The Coleridge wanted to finish the poem timely and to add it, to publish it in the second volume, but it is being incomplete, so it was not possible to include it. Due to incomplete nature of this poem, it was not included in that volume. Coleridge wanted to complete this poem in 5 parts. Coleridge has planned to write, to complete the poem in 5 parts, as he returned to Byron, the great romantic poet Lord Byron, in 1850. Many critics considered it an incomplete poem because many questions, many things are uncleared. They are not cleared till the end of the poem. There is a clash of good and evil described in the poem. Evil, you know that. But the poet has not shown the result of this conflict. When I will discuss the poem in detail, I will tell you about the clash of good and evil. The knight means the brave person to whom the Christabel loved, is just mentioned once in the poem. The Christabel went out to pray for his betrothed lover, but that is mentioned only once. And he did nothing to save the lady when Christabel was in danger. He did nothing to save the lady. So these questions are unanswered. Similarly, the famous critic Humphrey House has pointed out that Coleridge weaves a tale of mystery. He has given a very good comment that he has weaved, he had made a poetry of mystery, but that is incomplete and clueless. But unfortunately, that poem is incomplete, so it does not give the maximum effect which he could have created. The poem Christabel is full of supernaturalism. You know that the interference of other powers, the godly powers in human affairs is called supernaturalism. It describes the story of an evil lady, evil spirit, you can say, casting a spell on virtuous and lovely lady Christabel. In order to create a willing suspension of disbelief, Coleridge uses medieval techniques. Medieval means old techniques, medieval atmosphere, to create the environment of supernaturalism. Magic and witchcraft were an integral part of their life. In medieval period, magic and witchcraft were integral, were part and parcel of the life. In this way, the setting and the characters in this poem are medieval. So we can say that the setting and the background of the poem is medieval. So it is a very interesting poem when you go to read it and enjoy it. I think in the next lecture I will give you a commentary on the story of Christabel.